Oh, we are now.
We are now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Clem Fandango. Yes.
Very good. Right. Episode 8, Rossford Radio. We are here. We have Chris Fountain.
Hello.
All the way from snowy Halifax.
Snowy Halifax, yeah. It's literally not stopped all day. Like there's about 3 or 4 inches of snow on the washing line. The washing line, Ross.
I'm fuming here because Dewsbury, nothing. I can see it in the street light when I look out, but everywhere else, nothing. Not a spot.
The thing is, where we are, there's not like the gritters don't come like where we are. So it's like our road is just completely like engulfed in snow. But like you go onto the main road and it's fine.
Fuming.
What are you going to do?
Nothing. Right. So very briefly, we met about this time last year, February.
Yeah. February, yeah.
In Amsterdam. Freezing Amsterdam.
It was cold then as well, wasn't it? It was freezing then as well.
No one goes to Amsterdam in the summer. People only ever go in winter. It was our mutual friend Marcus's stag, arranged by yourself. Fantastic.
Arranged by me. That was a fun one, that. I've never had to organise a stag do before. This was my first, like, obviously you know this, but for people who don't, it was my first time organising a stag do. And I got everything pretty much sussed out as to where we were going and some activities and all that. But there was a few things that I had to be in Amsterdam to arrange. Like I had to buy him an outfit because I left it too late in England to do it.
Yeah.
So I've gone out there 2 days before and stayed with my friend Ben. And obviously, when you go to Amsterdam, you don't stay in. So I went on the Thursday night, Friday night, I was out drinking, and then everyone else arrived on Saturday. So when you got there at 10 o'clock in the morning, I was rough, very, very, very rough. And that was the first time I met you.
You survived. And you did very well. I think you did very well.
I think so. I think I did all right.
No
one died.
No one died. The only feedback I had was second day, the brunch on a boat was probably about, for me personally, 4 hours too early.
Yeah, but it was the only time I could get, you see. It was the only time I could get. It was either do the brunch boat, because I didn't realise how out of hand the night before was going to get, you see. I thought we'd have a couple of drinks, you know. But the food was good, though.
The food was great.
Shout out Big's boat in Amsterdam.
Great boat.
Do you remember that we had to get into dock at the side of the road because we were all late?
I remember flying past Anne Frank's house as fast as we could out the taxi and then sliding A-team style,
literally out of the taxi, jumped on the boat.
To the boat, like jumping over water and stuff like that.
Yeah, fun times, man. That was fun times.
Fuming. Right. Enough of this. Enough of
this debauchery. Talk to me.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about. We'll come to it second, but when we've met up for coffees with Marcus and stuff, you've been going on about this biking and mountain biking, your new hobby, and how it's getting to you. So we'll come to that. But recently, following your journey on socials, obviously the lockdowns come in. You've been pushing quite hard on the looking after yourself, the self-care stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just want to know kind of what sort of stuff you're doing and how you're keeping your head.
Yeah, man. I mean, to give it like a bit of context, like towards the end of last year, I started. I got stuck in Bali, but that's another story. When I got back from there, I wanted to like keep up my fitness, so I started training with Stephen Burno. Got into a nice routine. I was training there, feeling pretty good. Was eating okay, not particularly well, but then it came towards like Christmas time and like winter time, and then like we went into tier 3, and it was a bit like hard to figure out what was going on. And I went to Dubai and like managed to escape and get out to Dubai. Had a great time there, but again, I was drinking loads. And I recently, when I came back from Bali about 6 months ago, I stopped smoking. I was smoking quite a lot, and I'd stopped smoking for about 5 months. And for some reason, as soon as I got into to Dubai, I started smoking tobacco again, which I really didn't want to do, and I was really like disappointed with myself. So, and then on top of that, like I came back and then it was Christmas and I was still smoking and I was drinking loads because it's Christmas and that's what you do, and eating everything in sight, twiglets, mince pies, sausage rolls, everything you can imagine. I've eaten it. And then I just got into a bit of a slump really. I had a great Christmas, but I felt heavy and I didn't feel, my energy was low. I knew that I'd like just weren't being very good to my body and myself. So I kind of set in my head at first, I was just like, right, when it gets to January, I'm going to go in with my fitness and everything. And then it got to like New Year's Day. And then I think a few people did this. Like, I think when was New Year's Day? It was on like a Friday, I think.
Yeah, it was weird because you had Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. And then I was like, so it got to Friday and I was like, there's still loads of food in the house. And I was like, can't let this food go to waste. Like, what am I going to do? And then I went, right, Monday is the day. And from that point onwards, I don't know why. I just thought, at first I didn't really give myself an end point. I was just like, right, I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to eat really well. I'm going to knock smoking tobacco on the head. And yeah, I just at first I was just like, right, I'm just going to let it go and see how long it goes. And I started journaling as well. I bought myself a mind journal, which is a great purchase. I'm really enjoying doing that. But as I was doing that, he was asking me to set goals, and I'd not really given myself an end point for when I was going to do this until. And then I just thought, right, 90 days, like 3 months. I'm going to do 3 months, no smoking. Well, I've given up smoking now. That's me done smoking.
Lad.
I'm going to do 3 months off the alcohol because I've never really done that before. I've never gone, right, I'm doing a certain amount of time with no alcohol. I'm eating really well. I'm going to be training all the time. I'm trying to, well, as much as I can. I went to the gym on Monday with Berno, and that was the last day. And then the day after, so my first day of this thing, the first day, Monday, got in the gym, went straight in, felt really, really good. Boris drops a lockdown on us. And
thanks for coming.
Yeah, great. But fortunately, Berno has been like, he takes a load of equipment into Roundhay Park. And flipping tires and hitting stuff and moving things and doing all that. So I was supposed to train with him today, but obviously with the inclement weather, that got called off. But yeah, so at the moment, mate, I've done 4 days, feeling really good. Luckily, I've got a friend, Ash, who has a meal prep company, and I've started going to him for my food, which is amazing. Just like little Tupperware box, put it in the fridge, super healthy, super easy. And yeah, man, I'm feeling really good. Felt like spectacular.
4 days in.
4 days in, like it's weird. Like the second day I was a bit like, nah. But third day I got up and I was just like, gosh, let's go. Let's crack on. Nice.
But have you got that Friday feeling? That's what I'm worried about. Right, we're recording now Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's where am I going to go?
I don't know.
There's no alcohol in the house anymore. Well, there's a couple of bottles of wine, but I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered.
Concentrated grape juice, mate. You can have it.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'll talk to. I don't know if you can hear him. We've got a budgie now.
Nice.
Yeah, and he keeps me company. There's I think there's some football on TV. So yeah, I'm quite happy. I'm in a full like zen place at the moment.
Blanking out. I love it. And this afternoon, I've seen you've done a YouTube video. Outside.
Yeah, I mean, I could have done it inside, but it's just like, I mean, obviously, I didn't want to go out in the proper snow and start doing burpees and stuff. But luckily, at the side of my mum's house, there's like a covered, like a carport kind of thing, so you can you don't get hit by the snow. I've got a few kettlebells and a yoga mat, and obviously my PT session was cancelled, and because I'm just really up for it at the minute, I was like, right, I'm not just going to sit and do nothing. I'm gonna do something. And it's just, I'll tell you what I found, and I was speaking to a friend of mine about this yesterday, like, at the minute, because I'm not working and there's no potential for any work at the moment, there's like, acting's completely, all the theatres are shut, so that's kind of taken half my work away. There's limited stuff being made on television and film. DJing wise, there's no gigs. So I'm kind of in a bit of a pickle at the moment where I'm reevaluating, like, what am I going to do with my time? So this has given me like this little health kick, or like lifestyle adjustment, as I've called it, has given me a real nice, isn't it? And it's given me a real focus, man. And just like every day, just this one, I just went off my point there, but like I started doing like just really small to-do lists during the day, whether it be get up, tidy your room, read for an hour, go for a walk, do a workout, do some yoga, do a meditation or something like that. I'm not like a Zen master yogi, but just having a little list of things to do, I found has really like helped me just to just like, because you can get into a slump where you get up and if there's nothing to do, there's snow outside, you can't go anywhere because of lockdown. You could easily just sit there and just go. But I'm really trying not to do that. And at present, I'm feeling pretty good, man. But yeah, this YouTube thing in this afternoon was good. It was cold outside, but like after 5 minutes, I was rocking. Yeah. Listen, you got to send me some of your YouTube stuff so I can use that instead of some random American guy.
They're all on there.
Where? Tell me, send me some links, man.
YouTube, I would.
Right, okay.
I would. And the other with journaling, I bought a journal, a fitness journal, like one of the fitness gurus, like the business entrepreneurs has done a fitness journal. So I bought it for your business. But it's so nice. It's leather bound and all the pages are A4. It's beautiful.
It's nice, isn't it? It's nice paper.
I don't want to write in it. I don't want to spoil it. I'm doing it in pencil.
So I wrote in my journal, I was like, tell you what, this paper's nice. It's the nicest paper I've ever written on.
I don't want to ruin it. Yeah, we'll get some of that going. Right, 4 days in. So prior to this health kick, you were mountain biking.
Yeah, it's a strange old story. So like mountain biking has never been on my radar ever. Like I used to have a BMX when I was a kid. I was never any good on it. Like I'd never really been on bike ride. I used to when I was living in London, I'd ride the Boris bikes around town, but there's like you're on the roads and it's not like particularly pretty to look at in central London. But it stemmed from I went to a friend of mine's house and in Manchester, and I think this was like maybe September time, October time, and he was like, "Do you want to go on a bike ride?" At first, I was like, "Not really, mate, no." And he was like, "No, come on, we'll go out on the bikes. We'll go on some trails." And I was like, "I don't really know what he means." And anyway, he's got an e-bike. We'll come to that in a minute. And he lent me his old bike. So we've gone out, and bear in mind, I didn't know where we were going. I thought we were just going to go on a little ride around the village or whatever. So I've got a pair of Levi jeans on, some suede white trainers, and like a hoodie and a hat. And we sets off going, and he lives near Manchester Airport. And we're going through fields and down hills and through the woods. And my trainers are absolutely knackered by this point. Like just didn't have the right attire on. But there was one point where we were going down this like pretty steep hill, like amongst trees and all this. And I just had this feeling like the only way I can describe it is like when I was playing out as a kid and I was just excited and I was just like, wow, this is fun. Like I nearly fell off and I nearly went over the handlebars, but I was like, I've not felt like that for ages from just like doing kind of like you go to the gym and you do activities and running or whatever. But like there was a genuine feeling of like danger and excitement. So anyway, I went out again the next day, wore some proper pants and like actually dressed like I was going on a bike as opposed to like going out. And we went to a place called Phillips Park, which is like halfway between like Leeds and Manchester. So where is it? It's near like Prestwich, I think it is. And they've got like a few like downhill trails. And at first, I didn't really know what a downhill trail was at this point. But then once I get into something, like I like to kind of like focus on it. Like I was watching YouTube videos and I was watching like buying gloves and all this stuff. But I still, at this point, I still didn't have a bike. So I was still on my friend's like old bike. So we've gone to Phillips Park and he goes, right, you go first. And we set off down this trail and all of a sudden it just goes down and you're like going around like they're called berms. And it's like a raised kind of corner that you kind of ride round the corner and like come out the other side. And there's jumps and stuff and I've fallen off and I've just ended up having an amazing time, like a really, really good time. And I took to it pretty well. Like I'd only been out twice and I was doing like going off like bridges and drop offs and all this kind of stuff. And so from that point onwards, I was like, I'm going to have to get a bike. I'm definitely going to have to get a bike because I really, really enjoy myself. And it turns out my uncle works for Orange Bikes. And at this point, I didn't know what an orange bike was. I thought an orange bike was a bike that was the colour orange. But it turns out orange mountain bikes are like a really good make of mountain bikes. So fortunately, I managed to get like a bit of a discount on my bike.
Friends and family.
Through my uncle, yeah. I mean, but the thing is, it's like he was telling me that they can only buy one bike a year from the company because the one I got wasn't as expensive as some of the top end ones, but like some of their top end bikes, you're looking at like 9-10 grand. Like serious. It's not just like the frame, like the orange frame's like a classic frame, but it's the components. So you got like your front suspension, rear suspension, your brake pads, your gear, all this. That's all like the expensive stuff. But yeah, I managed to get a bike, and then again, to put things into context, I moved back to Yorkshire from London in July, and I've been in London for like the last 4 years. And coming back to Bradford, like Halifax way, like where I grew up, like I don't really know many people here anymore because I've been away. Like I moved to Liverpool when I was 16, and then was in Manchester, then just kind of been all over the place. So I didn't really know anybody to come back to and be like, oh, do you want to go for a drink? Do you want to go to the gym? Like there's a few people like you and Marcus and a few other people, but in terms of like people to hang around with, like all my friends are kind of in Manchester or London or wherever. But it turned out a lad that I met when I was probably about 10, he loves mountain biking, and my mum and his auntie are best friends.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Kind of.
So my mum said to his auntie, next time Justin's going out on the bike, do you mind if Chris goes, can Chris kind of tag along? My mum was like sorting like play dates out for me.
Nice.
So he's come round and he's taken me on, and just to like where I live, like round where I live at the moment, it's paradise for bike rides. It's amazing. There's like really cool like places to go and ride, like really like picturesque, like scenic like views and stuff. So Justin's come round to mine and he said, oh, I'll take you on like a route that's near us. And it was proper hard. Like a lot of it like Calderdale, like I found now I'm into my biking and I read mountain bike magazine and stuff. Like around this area is like notoriously hilly. So to get to the good bits when you're going downhill, you're up a steep hill for a long time. So anyway, we've gone out on this ride for like 2-3 hours, and I've again proper enjoyed myself. And he's like, oh, you'll have to come out. Like there's a few of us who go out, like so you'll have to come with us. So then this is where it gets interesting. It turns out all the lads that he goes mountain biking with, I went to middle school with. They're like my friends that I've not connected with for like 15, 20 years, you know, like 20 odd years. So now we've got like a nice little group of us who go out on the bikes. So I mean, obviously now we have to kind of limit it to 2 or 3 people because you can't meet up and do anything like that. But yeah, like
have you got a name for your gang?
This is
oh no.
Right. So if you ever get onto like mountain bike pages on YouTube, like I haven't got one yet, but everyone has GoPros and they film like the downhill.
Oh yeah.
All this. So Justin, he's got a YouTube page, and he's called our little group. There's debate about whether we're going to keep this name or not. He's called.
I can't wait.
You ready? You ready for this? The Cool Riders. But I put into the hat because like mountain biking is abbreviated as MTB. So I thought MT Beasts. It's better than Cool Riders, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, do you need something for your location? Do you need something for?
I don't know. I mean, like I say, I've not got a GoPro or anything yet. But
it's not very Yorkshire-y.
Yeah, Yorkshire. I don't know. We're gonna have to have a meeting about.
I think you need a bit of. You need to have a committee meeting, sit down.
Yeah. Well, then I was gonna move on to like after I've kind of gone out around like where I am for a little while. We've gone to there's like proper. I didn't realize this when I first started, but there's like full on like mountain bike like forests where people like go and they actually build trails. So we've been to a couple of them, and honestly, man, it's really, really fun. It's really, really fun. It's great for my fitness. It's great for my kind of mental health. Just like we went to a place called Gisborne Forest up in Clitheroe. Amazing. Had a fantastic day there. There's like basically you get there and there's like a loop. So I think the loop's something like, I don't know, it might be a completely wrong number, but say 15, 20 miles or 10 miles or whatever. And like on that loop, you're going through forests, like around lakes, and then along that route, there's like downhill sections, and they've all got names, and like you've got like grading of how difficult they are. Like you have blacks and reds and blues.
What are you?
And then we've been up to Hamsterley Forest in near Newcastle way, and it's like genuinely, I'm really, really enjoying it. Like it's great it's fun. It's keeping me active. It's keeping me like I'm being out in nature, which is amazing. Like I remember when we got to Hamsterley, we got to the top of this hill, and like it was really early morning, and it was just stunning, like really beautiful scenery, and you just like with your mates, you got a cup of coffee in your flask, and you're just off on your bike, man. And it's like, yeah, I can't recommend it enough, considering it was never even on my radar. Like I'm like fully engrossed in it now.
So what are your mountain biking goals for 2021?
My mountain biking goals for 2021. I mean, I'm looking forward to riding in the sun, because I've taken this up at the worst possible time when it's wet, and it's like I said, when we were in Amsterdam, at the very beginning of this thing, you're going up this hill for like half an hour. Like it's a long hill. And just as we started riding up this hill, when I say the rain was biblical, I don't think I've been in rain like that. And we're just on this hill, and the hardest part is getting absolutely pissed on, like going up this hill. And I still enjoyed myself. I still enjoyed it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to like in the summer, like just visiting, because there's loads of them, like these like proper forests and trail parks and stuff. There's unbelievable ones in Scotland. There's amazing ones in Wales. They're all over the place. And I'm looking forward to kind of like, if we're allowed, if the kind of lockdown things like ease up a little bit, just going down there with the boys and just like having a weekend, like a log cabin, like setting off around, like doing the trails in the morning and having some food and barbecues, a few beers in the evening. I'm looking forward to doing that. And yeah, eventually, once I get a little bit better, I wouldn't mind going over to France or to Switzerland, or just like, because they're all over the place. Like there's mountain bike like places. I think the holy grail of mountain biking, I think, is it's in Canada somewhere, Whistler in Canada. And it's just got like unbelievable, because it's mountains up there, isn't it? So there's like unbelievable trails and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, like a little biking holiday would be on the cards, hopefully, if it's possible. Are you gonna get one and come out, or what?
I'll borrow one.
Get one.
I'll borrow.
Come on.
Well, no, I mean, I've got we're talking about the fact that before we turned the record on, that I live in a studio flat. Like literally, you can see my bedroom, my office, and my kitchen all in one. There's no room for a bike in here, mate.
Keep it in my garage.
There's no room for. Don't start with me.
Come on, make a commitment. It's 2021. Let's make a commitment, Ross. You can get a nice second-hand bike on Facebook Marketplace for a decent price.
I'll happily borrow one and come out on someone, because I'm sure there's enough gathering dust. And the way my hours work, and the way
it probably is.
I'd rather borrow one and not do it, because I'm once you start, you're off, aren't you?
Yeah.
You've got your bike, your hat, your
helmet,
your jackets, your water bottle, your brakes, your tires.
Yeah.
It's never ending.
Well, they usually come with tires on, mate. I'll be honest.
Yeah, but you have to get special ones.
And brakes, funnily enough. They usually come with brakes.
But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what blokes are like? Blokes are just like that. I started like indoor rock climbing a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And we just went, I need the shoes, I need the chalk.
The powder holder. The
pouch holder, a bag.
Yeah. Mate, speaking of climbing, weirdly, I ended up, when you go on them Netflix kind of binges, and you don't know what you want to watch, and you just like scrolling for hours. I remember like last year now, I was back when I was in London, I ended up watching this climbing film called Free Solo.
Unbelievable.
And there's another one with this. It's not free solo. There's another one.
The Dawn Wall.
The Dawn Wall. That one. Wow. Mate, I didn't know anything about climbing. I just watched this guy. I was like, this guy is mad. He's mad. But the thing why it resonated so much with me is after Burning Man a couple of years ago, me and my friends drove down through Yosemite National Park and I stood underneath El Capitan. I've never, in my entire life, that national park, Yosemite National Park, I've never felt as insignificant in my life. Everything is massive. The mountains are massive. The bears are massive. The trees are everything is huge. And you stand underneath this thing and you just go. When I watched it, and I was like, he's going to climb it with no ropes. I was like, what's wrong? What's wrong with him? Why? Why is he going to do that? But it's some feat, that, man. Like getting, even with ropes, getting up there is a big. Big
incredible. You know when you go to Brighouse, you go to Good Karma Coffee in Brighouse, and there's that mill with all the pings on the.
Oh yeah.
I get vertigo looking at that.
So I'll be started climbing then.
Oh, but it's all right indoors because you get a mat and you don't go very high.
Right. What's that guy? What's the other discipline called? That there's two of them in free solo.
Yeah.
And the other guy that he recruits, he's like a champ. Oh, bouldering.
Bouldering. That's what I do. That's what I do.
Yeah, that looks like fun.
It's all right.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying that.
It's all right.
I'll come when you're going. I'll come with you. Let me know next time. Oh, it won't be open now, will it?
When it's open.
Oh.
Fuming. Boris.
What is life at the moment? I mean, did you see that thing on the BBC saying that? It's brilliant. It goes, try and avoid having sex with people who don't live in your household. Your best sexual partner at present is yourself or someone in your household. Who signed off on this wording? Like, what do you mean?
You can't, like, it's weird. And obviously they've got to try and say something as a government, but then they end up looking foolish, don't they?
Oh, man.
It's ridiculous. And then
mate, what is the world at the moment, mate? Like, what's going on? There's like a guy in a Chewbacca bikini in the Capitol building yesterday. Like, what's life's mate? What's going on? I'm sticking to my lifestyle adjustment. I'm doing workouts. I'm not even going to watch it anymore. I can't be bothered with it. I'm losing the plot.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay off the news generally, just because you just get so wound up with it and so fed up of. There's just too much to compute for our little human tiny brain.
That's what I mean. Like, it's not just we're locked down, but also like Brexit, also Trump, also don't have sex, also like it's just too much for me.
2 girls got arrested or something in Derbyshire, didn't they? For going for a walk around a reservoir.
Oh God,
that's the one going around today. Yeah, horrendous. Right.
I've been out. I thought we were allowed to go out walking. I thought that was you're allowed to go out.
So did they. I don't know.
Flipping heck. Well, listen, there's got to be. I've found, like you just said, like kind of you've got to stay informed, I think, but it's so easy to just get absolutely terrified by what's going on. And I think if you just kind of keep your eye on it and just do what's best for you, like spend time. If you're not working, so like if you're not got loads and loads of stuff to do, just spend time doing stuff that you enjoy, even if that is like sitting and listening to a jazz album for an hour. Just plan to do some stuff that you enjoy, just to give yourself some respite, man, because these are crazy times.
Yeah, it's I can't even, I lose words of how to describe what we're going through with our brains, what our brains are used to in the last evolution. For 100 years ago, we didn't have televisions or telephones.
No.
Now we can see what every person in the world is doing on the telephone.
In real time. In real time.
We know what everyone's roughly earning. We know when everyone goes on holiday.
I mean, it's like, it's sometimes like, I try not to think about it because it terrifies me. But like, I just wonder, 15, 20 years time, what's going on there? Like, what's going to be happening then?
Virtual reality, innit? Everything's virtual reality.
Get me in it. Get me there. I've got anything to escape from this nonsense we've got going on now.
I've just seen a video of Ronnie O'Sullivan playing virtual reality pool.
All right.
He's got the headset on and he goes down to put his hand on the table, and obviously there's no table. He falls flat on the floor.
Man, that's just reminding me, right? One of my it's not, and it is, but one of my greatest sporting achievements, right? Do you remember when the Nintendo Wii came out?
Yeah.
So the Nintendo Wii had just come out around about the time that I was doing Dancing on Ice. And it was 2008, I think it was. It might have been a bit before that. But in the green room, we had a Nintendo Wii. And it just so happened that doing Dancing on Ice that year was Greg Ruseds. And we played Wii tennis, right? And everybody was there. And Greg Ruseds was beating everybody at tennis, at Wii tennis, right? I'd never played it. I was like, oh, I'll have your game, Greg. Let's go. Full green room. Everybody's watching. I absolutely battered him, like aced him about 3 times in a row. He was not happy. But I still remember that to this day.
Did you have the skates on or not?
No.
Skates off.
Skates off. But listen, how are you doing? How are you coping?
So yeah, like you say, you had your one day in the gym.
Yeah.
I started a new gym. I started at JD.
Yeah.
Back as come away from management.
Yeah.
That's for a different podcast, but come away from management, back onto the freelance PT, just working with people one-to-one.
Yeah.
Right, meeting people, shaking hands, how's it going? Yeah, I've done this, I've done that. And then kind of halfway through the day, it was like, Boris is doing an announcement, so it's pretty obvious that it was going in to be like, it was going to be the closing. So everyone's just kind of walking around like, people are doing 4-hour workout. I've come to do my legs, but I'm doing my biceps and my track and everything. So, yeah, that was kind of my induction, saying hello to all lads, but all lads are all worried because of the bills, and yeah, not the best. So I've kind of pivoted to
pivot.
Yeah, I've been working with some bands. I've kind of developed enough exercises with body weight and bands to kind of get people through a full workout, which I can do on this Zoom thing.
Nice.
I have been doing people outside in the park, but
have you been doing people outside in the park, have you?
You know what I've been doing.
That's a different podcast, that, mate.
Save that for the other channel. Yeah, but obviously it's coming real cold in the new year, so we're praying for a bit of spring to get back outside and just playing it by ear. But there's enough people out there who need help with just getting, like you say, getting the to-do list, getting the habits, and trying to guide people down.
It sounds stupid, man. Like when someone first told me to do to-do lists, I was like, well, but then when you tick it off and you get to the end of the day, you ticked everything off. It's a little bit of like a yes, like I've done. You feel like you've done something. Do you know what I mean? As small as it is, it just feels good to do it.
Yeah, like I moved into this studio, and like I like it. I really like it because everything's quite close and compact. But the problem is like, as I sit at my desk here working, I can see that I've got washing up to do here. So if I've got a hard email to send, I'll go do the washing up. So I'll come back and start writing it again. And then, I could do with putting that kit on to wash. So then and the email never gets sent. So I'm,
I'll tell you what, I'm reading a book at the minute called The Chimp Paradox. Have you heard about this? Oh, you got it?
Right there.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
It's right there,
it's good, man. I'm about halfway through it, but like, I pretty early on, you start recognizing your chimp, don't you? And it's just having the presence of mind to recognize that. So like today, I was trying to get a pan out of the cupboard. I was trying to get a pan out of the cupboard, and it kept getting stuck as I was getting out of the cupboard. And I could feel myself getting angry. I was like, pans. And I was like, oh, there he is. Just calm down, you. And I was like, right, if I move that there and then move that, right, I'm okay now. But it's very easy to let the old chimp just run riot.
I read it a while ago. I don't remember the chimp, the pan cupboard chapter.
Oh, there's no pan. There's no chapter about that. That's just me being a div, like trying to just letting him run riot.
Yeah, I remember the relationships and you see the hierarchies.
Oh yeah.
But like going into work for one day, this gym for one day, you could see the lads who were really comfortable in what they were doing and who the customers were and the business, and the lads who just started and they were a bit like,
yeah, and
how they behaved towards me and stuff like that. It was interesting.
Yeah, It's funny, like one of the first parts of the book is saying it kind of gives you if an event happens, or if the first part of your brain to react. So obviously you get your chimp part, which is the mad part, your computer part, and then I don't want to actually try and explain it all because I'll probably get it wrong. But the chimp part, which is the reactive, the angry, that always reacts first, always, no matter what happens. It always. So you've always got to kind of have the foresight to be able to go, right, well, I'm going to get either annoyed or sad or happy or whatever, but I've got to be able to kind of rein it in. Like, it's probably a really bad explanation, but it's definitely worth reading.
Yeah, well, part of it is there you go.
Right.
Part of it is natural survival.
Yeah,
I think
exactly. Yeah.
And you need that chimp.
You have to have the chimp, yeah, because if fight or flight and all that, you have to have that part.
Yeah. So when you finish that, you need to go Daniel Kahneman, Thinking Fast and Slow.
Thinking Fast and Slow, right. I'll write that one down.
Thinking Fast and Slow. So that's more of the same.
Yeah.
And I'm working through that one at the moment. And that's kind of how you think about like buying stuff and statistics and your natural reaction. The catchphrase that keeps coming up in this book is, what you see is all there is.
Yeah.
So making decisions, the process of making decisions from the things that you can just see, which is, he calls it System 1. Who wrote The Chimp Paradox? It's Steve something. He calls it Human and Chimps, but Daniel Kahneman calls it System 1 and System 2. So System 1 is the chimp.
Yeah.
And the different, but yeah, it's super interesting. And the more I'm getting into PTing and realizing it's not just about giving out exercises, it's about recognizing behavior and patterns. And
of course, yeah. It's like again, when we were saying about like with Berno, who I'm training with, like sometimes, like my mum says to me sometimes, she's like, "You don't half shout at you." I'd have to tell him to bugger off. I can't all people shouting at me, but like I find it gets. I've trained for a while. I've never got into like my peak condition of physical fitness, really, which is one thing that I want to achieve this year. But I've found that when I've trained with Berno, just his way of doing things it works really, really well for me. And I've probably got to being as strong as I've ever been in terms of like my 1 rep max on like my squat, my deadlift and my bench press. I've got probably, this was before Christmas and all that. So I've probably gone down a bit now, but just the way that he gets you fired up in the gym, like really, really works for me. And it's just, again, like that might, like someone being shouted at might not work for everybody, but it really works for me. So like you were saying then about like recognizing behaviors and how to adapt for different people is definitely an important part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not a shouter. I mean, try and be an encourager. I shout in classes because that's a group environment, but one-to-one, I'm generally just kind of chipping into people and just kind of trying to find out why and what makes them tick. But there's so many different people out there. There's so many different, they call it horses for courses, don't they?
Yeah, of course.
Like I've had clients who I never have an iPad with me. I try and remember everything and kind of work and all my decisions are made upon what I can see in that moment and how they're training and work them up like that rather than what's happened on the iPad in the past. And the clients have gone, "Oh, I'd hate it if you had an iPad." Yeah. To other trainers, whereas other trainers are completely lost without it. So there's so many different things, and that's why we call it personal training.
Because it's personal.
And that's what it's all about. And that's what it's all about. And I'm listening to Business Book today and saying that you should work out who you want to work with, and they should work out that they want to work with you. You shouldn't try and fit into a box of what people want. You should always just it makes it easier.
In an ideal world, I suppose, but in the current climate, like clients are clients, aren't they? Because I need to work.
Yeah, yes and no, because I wouldn't take on someone that I didn't think I could help. Yeah,
of course.
And I wouldn't bullshit them just for the sake of the money, because then you're like, you're struggling, you're worrying, you're having to do
of course, actually, makes sense.
for example, a lot of people are doing that, the bodybuilding competitions and doing all the posing and stuff like that. But I don't know anything. I don't know anything about that. Like I know that they're not eating a lot of food, but I don't know how they go from a normal amount of food that can get training gains down to very little food at the show and getting it right for that day. That's a whole
other story, that, isn't it? Like, I remember watching a thing about like powerlifters and stuff like that, and like them powerlifters, so they like triple what a normal person eats. Just constantly during the day. Like, right, steak, food. Like,
yeah. Well,
but again, it's horses for courses, isn't it? Like you said,
they'll have special trainers who've kind of just gone into that niche, and that's their passion, and they'll work for it. Like people come to me and say, "Oh, I've signed up for a marathon." I said, "Well, you need to go see a running coach, because it's nothing. I can keep myself busy enough with people who want to tone up, be a bit stronger, eat a bit better, feel a bit healthier. There's enough people in that patch for me. I don't need to start bullshitting people that I know how to run a marathon."
Of course.
I imagine.
Yeah, mate, it's funny you say that. One of my friends kind of saw my, like, the first on the Monday when I kind of put out on my side. I don't really. I used to not be a massive fan of Instagram, like, and I still have my reservations about it. But about a year ago, I was kind of like, look, I don't want to be that old guy who's just going, "Oh, Instagram's rubbish for kids." I mean, I'm still yet to go on TikTok. I think that's the boundary for me. But nowadays, you kind of, in whatever facet of life you're in, you kind of have to have an online presence, really. I think, and the way that the world's moving forward, you have to have that kind of engagement. Like, just because, like, for me at the moment, like, again, there's not really much work, but if I just don't have a social presence, like, I people just completely forget about who you are and what you do and all that stuff. And you see anything now, tattoo artists, PTs, actors, comedians, everyone's got this online presence. So I've kind of made a bit of a decision to kind of be a bit more active on there. Like, I still find weird being an actor is weird anyway, because I pretend to be someone else for most of my life. But like, I'm never really filming myself. It's always other people that are filming this. But like, when I'm stood there, like, filming myself, I still feel a bit weird. Like, and still, I'd hate to think that when I'm walking down the street, sort of like doing a video, someone's looking at me on the street going, "Look at that idiot over there doing that." But yeah, I think, again, that's another thing that's kind of accountability. Like, now I've said on my social media to however many followers, I'm doing this for this reason, for this amount of time. It kind of gives me more of a thing to go, I can't mess it up now. I can't go out and sneak a bottle of wine in, or I can't do, not that I want to, but it gives me that, like, accountability, like I said.
Yeah, and people to be checking on you and making sure that you're doing it, because when you verbalize something to someone else, you're doing it. Like, you've got to start research. One, you're now the chairman of a bike club, and you've got to come up with a name. And
still not got a name.
You verbalize that on the internet, and you've got to organize a trip for them all. Yeah, to Canada, to Whistler.
Oh God, I'm not going to say. It's too early for Canada just yet. It's too early for Canada. But I mean, like, I've kind of been around people who know what they're doing in terms of training, so I can kind of get by. But like, I get that today. I thought I was doing that video about, like, saying, "Oh, I'm going to do a workout." I'm like, is anyone asked? Like, does anyone care that I'm going to do a workout in the snow? But then, like, people, again, I'm not a PT, so I don't want to be like, "Oh, I'm doing this for 10 reps and blah, blah, blah," because I don't know what I'm on about. I'm following what other people do.
Yeah.
But it just, I'm surprised at how much interaction I'm getting from it. Like, people going, "Oh, nice one. You've given me some, like, inspiration to go out and do it." And like, other people are going, "Yes, mate, I'm doing the same. Keep going." And it's just kind of it's kind of keeping me sane a little bit, because obviously we can't go and see everybody. And like I mentioned before, like, a lot of my friends are kind of all over the place. So everyone's kind of like, well, not everyone, but a lot of people I seem to find it, like, especially at the beginning of the year, are all kind of on this health boost. And it's nice to just kind of chat to people who are doing a similar thing to you. Do you know what I mean?
And keep it going.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the good thing about social media, is that people will encourage you, and people will people will try and look at things. I always think, like, when I put my videos of people training or of me training, I'm like, well, I'm not very strong.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly ripped, but it's my job. But I still, I put it out there because then people kind of latch onto it and start asking me questions, and then there's a conversation come off the back, which sometimes results in me giving some advice and helping them, or they become a client and they come into the
of course,
of building it. So it's an interesting one, right? We are up to. We've flown to. We started just after past, so we've done about 50 minutes.
Okay,
which is great.
I mean, I don't know how long. I don't know. I'm just looking. My battery just came up and went. You have 20% battery left, so I don't want it to go off.
Right. So let's say you're in 4 days of your change. Shall
4 days, yeah.
Shall we check in 4 weeks? Come back on this podcast, and you can get on, and you can talk about if you've had any hurdles to jump over.
Listen, there's definitely going to be some hurdles, mate. In there, whether we go into tier 14 or like they then ban you from leaving the house, or shut up, this Budgie's going mad. Billy, shush, I'm doing a podcast, mate. Good lad. I talk to Budgies now.
Nice. Budgie whisper.
But yeah, mate, 100%. I'd love to get back on, man. I was going to mention, because I know you like your boxing, don't you?
Yeah, go on.
Did you watch the Garcia and Luke Campbell fight?
Oh, I'm still mad.
I'm still mad about that.
I'm still mad about it.
But he looked, I can't lie, I wanted Campbell to win.
Yeah.
He did dance so nice, Luke Campbell. He was on that.
Yorkshire boy. What were you all that year?
No, not with me. You were a few years after me. But I watched that fight, and like, again, Ryan Garcia looks great on Instagram. But now, I thought he was finished, mate. After he got knocked down, I thought, right, he got an uphill. But he came back and he won the fight. Do you know what I mean? And that body shot was outrageous. I've been hit with one of them before, mate. It's not nice.
When you get one of those, you can't move, can you? As soon as it landed, I was like...
You see his face, he was just like...
Once you get tickled with one of them and it gets you in the right place, you're done. For a minute, for 2 minutes, you can't.
When you watch it in slow mo, it was just under his ribs. Oh, mate, I felt sick. For him.
They're horrible. But it was winning the fight. I thought I don't think he was winning on the official cards, but for me, he was winning the jab. He could hit him with a jab whenever. He was making Garcia miss regularly. Yeah. He was dancing around. I just felt like he got drawn into a little bit of a firefight, and at range and beat him on the jab.
I think he started to let Garcia dictate how close they were, because like someone as quick as that, you don't want it, even if you're not getting hit super hard. If you're in close and someone's going ba 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 ba, the judges are always going to be like, oh, that's exciting, and that's like he's landing. But somebody shot that. Somebody shot that. Wow. Yeah.
But he's got. I don't know whether I put on someone else posted about this today on socials. He's been boasting and calling people out. I'm saying, you're drunk on that body shot, mate.
Mate, I don't. He's been calling out. Who's it? It was on that. He was with Tyson. He was with Tyson and Jeremy Piven. Shout, is it Tank? What's his name? Deontay. What's his name?
Davis. Tank Davis. Yeah.
I don't know his full name. I don't. Yeah, Javonte Davis or something like that. I can't remember his name.
Javonte Davis, yeah. There's the other lad with Matchroom who I've completely forgotten as well. I'm not prepared for this. You've sprung the
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
It's real interesting division. Lomo can come back in there as well at any point. I think Lomo was injured in his last fight with Lopez because he only threw about 5 punches in that fight. So I'm just looking
forward to Fury Joshua now. That's the one, isn't it? That's the one everyone wants to see.
The huge one. The huge one. Yeah, I think I'm going out like I am a fan of AJ. I love AJ, and I've loved
same.
I've loved AJ from day one. But as soon as you say that to anyone, they're like, "Yeah, but Tyson Fury beats him." I'm like, "Hang on."
I think he does.
Yeah, no, but maybe. But I'm like, "But I'm an AJ fan. Like you're a Huddersfield fan."
Oh, well, that's different.
No, you know what I mean? Because people say...
I think Huddersfield can beat everybody.
If an Arsenal fan says to me, oh, Fury beats AJ, easy. I'm like, yeah, but Real Madrid beat Arsenal every day of the week. You're not going to start buying Madrid t-shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah, true.
I'd like AJ.
I think it's an interesting one for me. I think if my instant feeling about it is if it goes past 3 or 4 rounds, I think Fury will beat him because I can't see unless but this is where it gets interesting. If this is the fight where Joshua steps up and goes up a level, which he's very capable of doing,
levels all the time,
very capable of doing. This might be his fight where he goes, right, I'm the best now. But I think at present, for me, I think Fury beats him. But that's why it's an interesting fight. You don't want to watch a fight who you know is going to win, do you?
No. It's so interesting. And I think a lot of the information people are taking from Fury's comeback are from Deontay Wilder. But we don't have a lot of information about Deontay Wilder fighting people at high level because everybody who he's fought have been okay, but they've not fought anyone either. Like there's been no crossovers. No one's fought Joe Parker or no one's fought Povetkin or those people. There's no.
So am I right in thinking? Does Joshua? Is there someone else that they have to fight? Is it someone has to fight someone else before Fury and Joshua can fight?
So Alexander Usyk.
Usyk, that's it. Yeah. That's it.
He's got the mandatory shot at.
He's hard as well. He's not a walkover at all.
No. So that's interesting. I think they'll pay him off.
Yeah. You think they will? You're on the internet. You're saying it's all fraud. It's not wrestling.
I don't know. Maybe AJ fights Usyk and Fury has another fight, and then it's bigger because sometimes boxing's a business more than a sport. So
it winds me up that though. It annoys me that. I went to watch the Hatton Mayweather fight in Vegas years and years ago.
Gosh.
Unbelievable. One of the best experience, like atmosphere was next level. But that whole time it was Mayweather and Pacquiao, and he never fought when he was supposed to fight. And he was like, when he did fight, he was like, well, it's not. It don't mean anything now because it's not how it should be. So I just hope that this. I don't think they can put it off for that long because I think they have to make this fight. Two British heavyweights. Like, when is this going to happen again? Do you know what I mean? When's this going to happen? No matter when they do it, they're going to make a fortune off it.
Oh, easy.
So, but yeah, fingers crossed it's sooner rather than later, man.
Definitely. Right, we're out. Done.
Perfect.
Done. We'll see you in 4 weeks.
Definitely. Nice to see you, man.
Hero. Right, let's go.